This is PC 747. We're going to start off with one of the big news that started this week, T-Mobile and Sprint. T-Mobile and Sprint are pretty much merging, more likely really a buyout, as T-Mobile will be taking ownership of the company majority, and you will see pretty much everything go to T-Mobile. Now, this is pending all the regulators are on board and sign off on it. Now, assuming that it does, there are a lot of promises put out there by John Legere, the T-Mobile CEO, saying that they're promising to bring more jobs. The combined effort will be able to bring 5G at a cost that is cheaper than what AT&T and Verizon are going to be able to offer. And look, will that be able to happen? Time will tell. But I will say this off the bat, for a fact that one of the problems we're going to see is the reality is that anytime you have a company where they merge, they're going to have to get rid of the overhead, and you're not going to want to have two stores, doing the same thing. And when you are in areas where you have a T-Mobile store right next to a Sprint store, you're going to, understand the simple fact that hey, they're going to have to close that Sprint store because they're not going to have two stores open, and eventually that's going to result in either A, those people being allowed to come over to T-Mobile, or B, they cut those jobs altogether. Now, I do see a mixture of both of that, where they end up cutting some jobs to start with. In fact, I actually think they want to cut a lot of jobs to start with and really open this up to where T-Mobile will have a smaller footprint. And because I think that's what T-Mobile has been wanting to do anyway. They want to get away from all these carrier stores and go more to open it up to the regional stores, allow those mom and pop businesses to take over and be those retail companies, and let them take some of the burden of the store and just the day-to-day operations, especially when it comes to dealing with personnel and pay and benefits and all that stuff. To be able to pretty much farm that off to allow another company to do that will allow them to be able to shed a lot of extra money, which anybody who runs a business will tell you personnel is the biggest cost right there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes. So just to get to the facts, you got pretty much this merger that took place, and we're going to just pretty much have to wait and see how this go out. Now, for those tracking at home, I want you to think about something real quick. T-Mobile, about a couple years ago, bought Metro PCS. Sprint had a majority ownership of Virgin Mobile, and they also own Boost Mobile. So now, when you have these two companies merged, you have the majority of low-cost carriers coming together to become one big company. And that's a concern I have, because, we already have AT&T and Verizon that, anybody who are on those carriers would tell you, look, especially Verizon, they're known for nickel and diming their customers. AT&T is not that far from them. In fact, I think the only thing that's keeping AT&T from being another Verizon is Sprint been pretty much nipping at their pants leg, taking some customers here and there. So it's going to be interesting to see if T-Mobile will continue on that carrier plan that they have been saying, and providing that option, especially when it comes to 5G, at a lower cost than the other two.